All right, fantastic. Thanks for joining me. I'm Susan Patang from the Quiet Zone Coaching, and this is No More Losers, Dating After Divorce. But today, we're not going to talk about dating. We're going to talk about the actual divorce and ways to cope and get through that, because this is a huge part of what is going to happen to you down the road. This affects your mindset. It affects you in so many different ways. The stress of it can have long-lasting effects. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to process while it's happening, okay, and to make yourself feel better. Number one, before we can accomplish anything, we have to learn how to stay calm and focused. And I know you're all sitting there laughing at me right now. You're crazy, right? You haven't been divorced. Yeah, I have. So it is possible to do. And I'm going to give you some strategies. These are just a few of the ways that you can learn how to stay calm. And one is to take up a meditation practice. And no, I'm not talking about woo-woo crap and sitting in the corner and dangling a crystal over your head and, saying om and, things like that. No, I'm talking about 10 minutes a day. There are as many ways to meditate as there are people. What the goal is to stop thinking. So if that means gazing at a candle flame, watching something in nature, like the birds I watch every day out my window at the bird feeder, observing something that you think is beautiful or wonderful or amazing. It doesn't have to be, it's not like that, okay? If you have a problem with meditation, the concept of meditation for religious reasons, no worries. Recite a repetitive prayer like the Lord's Prayer, the Rosary, something along those lines. Because what that does is you're focusing on the repetition and you're not thinking, okay? That's the goal. This is science, people. This is not woo-woo stuff, okay? This actually helps your brain make new connections between the part of your brain where most emotions come from and the prefrontal cortex, where it gets translated. The signals get translated into behavior and thoughts. So yes, you want to do something like this. This is going to be very helpful for you. Another thing you can do to reduce your stress levels is to practice deep breathing. When you feel yourself starting to ratchet up, take a couple of deep breaths. And people say this all the time. Oh my God, calm down, take a deep breath. There is a biological reason for that. There is a nerve that runs through the middle of your body called the vagus nerve. No, not Las Vegas, VAGUS. And what it does is when it's stimulated, it sends a signal to your brain to relax. And that's what you want to do. And you stimulate it with deep breathing. So there you go. That's one way to take that down a notch. Another thing is being mindful, staying in the moment. Forget about what's happened in the past. It's gone. You can't change it. And the future's not here yet. So let's just focus on right now. And that brings us to number two, which is focus on solving problems. Okay, what is the problem that's in front of you right now? What's on your plate? Okay, I want you to use these two questions as part of your divorce coping mantra. Okay, what is something positive and constructive that I can do about this? Okay, not getting even, not punishing your ex. If you're fighting over money, you're talking about money. Okay, what can I do that's positive and constructive to get to negotiate this? And you can also, this is the second question, how important is this really? So if it's something important like maintenance or child support or something like that, okay, fair enough. What is something positive and constructive I can do about this? If it's something that's not important, like who gets that table in the other room, who gives a shit? Give him the freaking table, okay? What's important? Okay, focus on solving the problem, okay? Number three, and this kind of now moves into number three, learn everything that you can about the process, okay? The legal system is very confusing. They have their own language, they have their own logic, which makes no sense sometimes in the real world, right? And if you've been in your divorce for a while, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Do not be afraid to ask questions and to educate yourself. Do not take everybody's word for it, okay? Learn about the process and what's happening, because that's also going to make you feel empowered, okay? That's also going to help give you a psychological boost, and you won't feel like you're being used, abused, and otherwise having your wallet picked dry. I actually really do recommend, if you haven't started your divorce yet, go to a mediator, because that's a healthier way to process. Lawyers are going to try to drag it out as long as they can because they can charge you more. Okay, most lawyers aren't interested in seeing a quick, swift resolution, and not necessarily a fair one either. They're looking to get the most for their client. A mediator is looking to do what is right and fair for both parties. Okay, now isn't that a better concept? Okay. Remember, what is something positive and constructive you can do about this? Okay, you don't want to be casting blame and punishing and things like that, because those negative emotions, they are going to follow you and they're going to carry through and they're going to make you miserable later. You do not want to be that person. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow, I think, is values. What kind of person do you want to be? And fourth, I want you to remember the result and the benefit that you're looking for in each of these negotiations that you go through. Okay, each step. What is it that you're hoping to achieve? And is what you're doing right now, okay, is it going to help you get there, or is it going to be counterproductive? What's your motivation? Okay, if your motivation is to punish, throw it out the window. Go back to being solution oriented. And this goes with it. What is the benefit that you are hoping to achieve? Okay, you don't want to be the child, you want to be the grown-up. So what is it that you want? Okay, and why do you want it? Okay, make sure it's a worthy thing. And ask yourself, how am I going to feel about this at the end of the day? You know, am I going to feel guilty when this is all over that I was a psycho bitch? In 20 years, are your kids going to come to you and say, oh my God, Mom, why did you do that? Okay. How do you want your kids to, what kind of example are you setting for the kids? Think about that. Okay. And these are, always take the high road. Okay. That's my short answer for everything. Always take the high road. Do what you think is the right thing to do as a human being. Okay, not as maybe the burned, scorched ex. Okay, you know what? Karma's a bitch. And if they did something to hurt you, it's going to come back and bite them, and you don't have to do a thing, right? You know, it's true. Everything always works out in the end. So don't worry about it. Okay, but focus on solving the problem, making things right, and parting and saying, bye-bye, have a nice life. Okay, don't worry about punishments. Okay, and getting even, because it's not going to be productive. It's not going to help you. These are just a few of the things that you can do to help yourself get through all of that stuff. And as I mentioned before, this is something that I do. I help women be comfortable in their own skin so they can find the partner that they deserve and the partner that is the perfect match for them. But being comfortable in your own skin also means building your self-confidence, building back your self-esteem after this emotional blender. And it also means, that you are healing from those past hurts and those past traumas, because you will never be able to move forward either in life or in another relationship until you deal and process with those. And that's what I will help you do. One of the things that I have a resource for you to use. This is free. It's my gift to you. If you go to www.thequietzonecoaching.com/mantra, you will get access to an article that I wrote. It's free. It's an article, and it's all about the life mantras. I mentioned them, and I mentioned a little bit about a mantra in one of these steps that I just gave you. Life mantras help us to build our self-confidence back, to look at the world through the lenses of gratitude and positivity, to help us feel comfortable in our own skin, to give ourselves permission for self-care. Because a lot of times we think we don't have permission, we don't have time to do that. Okay, we do have time to do that, and we can make the time to do that, which is something else I'll teach you how to do if you want. So anyhow, go pick up that life mantra article and read it. I think you'll like it, and let me know what you think. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful, awesome, amazing night. Namaste.